Good day and greetings from the Great White North. My name is Prickly Poo and welcome to day 196 of a year of change. This week has been a rough week all the way around. I was originally going to sort of do a summary of sugar and a bunch of stuff that we've done today. I'm going to save that for tomorrow. Just where we're sort of starting in a new week, and usually that's when we do our changes. But this week, this has been a really rough week, and I don't know why. I haven't gone over my calories. I haven't... actually, I think I probably have gone over on my sodium. My macros aren't where they need to be. I seem to have sort of not exactly lost momentum, but gotten a little complacent. And part of me thinks that I've done this before. That I've been saying this for a while. But I'm still making progress. It's very slow, and it's starting to get to me. So this week I had started doing my treadmill every day. And... thinking, okay, if I do that, maybe that will give me a little bit of a boost. And then I started cutting back, as I mentioned last week. I'm going to start cutting back on the amount I'm actually tracking for exercise. That I still do the same exercise, but I put in, a lower amount. I'm at 600 calories for the treadmill, and then starting next week, I'm going to do the same amount on my treadmill, but I'm only counting it as 500 calories and then 403, just so that it becomes just sort of part of the routine and not extra calories that I can eat, because I think that might be part of it. I still haven't gone over. I've come close a couple of times, but I just don't feel like I am where I need to be, and just sort of one of those things that when you've been going on a path for so long, and then you just sort of, can't really explain it. Doesn't really help. But I need to sort of get back to where I was. So I'm going to sort of continue on with what I'm doing with the treadmill and everything else, and maybe that's what it is, that I'm focusing so much on that I've become a little complacent with the food tracking. I've still tracked everything, and I haven't missed anything, and I haven't gone over any days. I was close one day. Actually, this week, I think it was Thursday night. I was dangerously close to just going back to my old eating habits for some reason, and I don't know what it was. Just by the end of the day, I had gone through, I had had a regular breakfast, I had had a regular lunch, and a regular dinner, and then I was just, at the end of the day, I was just ravenous for something. I wanted potatoes, and I wanted pierogies, and I wanted, all sorts of starchy, carbohydrate-y foods. And I haven't cut anything out, so it's not like I'm just craving them because I can't have them. But really craving chips for the first time ever, and French fries, and just anything potato-y. I just sort of wanted. I didn't do it. I was good. I didn't indulge to a point where I actually just left the store because I had taken a friend to go grocery shopping, and I'm wandering around and going, I want this, I want that, and I want this. What should I get? And eventually I left. I couldn't do it. Because I knew that if I just started buying something, I go, well, it's okay if I go over one day, or if I go over another day, it'll be okay. And I don't want to get into that. But Thursday was it was one of those points that I could have very easily just gone back and said, all right, I'm eating 5 plates of nachos. I'm in all the good stuff that I like is on sale. Great big blocks of cheese for $3. I'm like, no, can't do it. Because I very well could have just eaten myself into a stupor and then had to call in sick the next day. But got through it, did okay. Didn't buy any horrible stuff, so I'm good. And then I went today and I bought a whole bunch of fruit because I'm running low. So hopefully get back on track to where I need to be. But it sort of leads me into something that I was going to bring up a while ago. I sort of did, but we haven't really focused on it. That when we're doing stuff like this, when we have those moments like I did on Thursday, if you can say, you know what, no, I'm just going to leave, I'm going to be okay, it's not going to kill us to just not go through it and not indulge and not buy all the stuff that we want to buy and eat everything that we want to eat and have one of those pig out days and then just sort of feel how I've ruined that week, so I'm going to do it again. When you have those moments, people are going to handle it differently. At this stage, it's to a point where it usually doesn't get that bad. But I just had to physically leave the store with that. I'm just going to end up buying something that I really shouldn't. So I'm just going to go. I'll go wait in the car. You do your shopping thing. And when you're done, it'll be good. Because again, it does go back to that. This is our responsibility. We have to go. We have to buy the food. We have to bring it home. We have to sit in the dark and eat it and cry and watch cartoons. So just trying to get to that point where, it's not the be-all and end-all for me. That normally I would just say, okay, well, no, I want to indulge in this, so I'm going to indulge in this. Because I've said before, if we have one of those days, if you have what's called a cheat day, or if you have a day that you do go over, or that, especially when we were first starting out, it was a sort of more of a risk than it is now, that when you're starting and you have one of those days where, for whatever reason, you are legitimately hungry and you go over and you overeat, and yes, maybe you throw away 2 or 3 days worth of progress. While it's not the end of the world, it's difficult to sort of get to a point where you can say, if that happens, don't beat yourself up. It's all right, and without getting to a point where you're going, no, you can have it whenever you want. Because the goal that we're trying to reach here is for overall healthy eating. Not necessarily. The weight loss is a big part of it. This is based on weight loss, but it's because that's going to be a byproduct of what we're trying to do. Originally, if it was strictly weight loss, then yes, we could hit the gym for 2 or 3 hours a day. We could cut our calories way, way down. We could just, map out every little tiny thing that we're doing, and, we would certainly lose the weight that way. But what we're trying to do is to get to a point where, 6 months from now, that we aren't going to need to, for the most of us anyway, we aren't going to need to track food every single meal. We're going to know, well, no, I'm hungry or I'm not hungry, not just eating out of boredom or eating because we're sad or eating because we're tired or eating because we're not tired or not, whatever the reason is that we've always given ourselves. It's to get to a point where we can eat healthily and eat like a normal human being without having to, track absolutely everything. I think I'm going to have to keep tracking for a very long time. I don't think it's going to end at the end of the year. Just because I'm a very poor judgment of how much everything is. And without the tracking, I would look at it and say, okay, well, it's 300 calories. And I've done this even now, where I've thought, okay, well, it's probably 500 or 600 calories, so that I'll have it. And then I put it in, and I actually go into my MyFitnessPal before or after I eat it, and I'm going, oh, this is 2,000 calories. Not that big, but you know what I mean. I still haven't gotten to that point where I'm judging food just with my eyes and saying this is how many calories it should be. Or these are the amount of calories. It's a plural, singular, what is that? Plural, yeah, I don't know. Anyway. But getting to that point, that's going to be a big milestone, I think, is being able to look at it and say, okay, I know roughly how much that is. Because right now I can do that. I can look at something and say, oh, well, yes, that's, like, I could look at an apple and say it's 80 calories because I've done it so many times. But just sort of looking at, say, a little bowl of ground beef, I can't look at that and say, well, this is how many calories it is. In my head, I can say, oh, yes, it's 400 calories. And then when I actually put it in and go, no, it's 712. I'm way, way off. So getting to that point where I'm judging it should be fine. But sort of getting off track here. I am going to have to continue to do this. And that's sort of what the point of this year is to get to a point where we can eat normally and we don't have to worry about having those days. But they will come. And I don't want to sort of put out there that, oh, no, you can never have it and you need to leave the store like I did and just sit and be miserable all the time and saying, I hate this, because if we do that, we aren't going to stick with it. But I also don't want to sort of put that information out there that, oh, no, when you have a cheat day, it's okay to have one once in a while. Because to me, once in a while, for some reason, I have that in my head as once a week. Whenever anyone says, oh, no, you can do it once in a while, I'm like, so once a week, twice a week? What is that? But then if you say, well, no, once a month, well, then you've set a goal. Say, good, I can have one cheat day a month. And then, well, I can move this over here, move this here, and then it turns into two cheat days. It's very difficult to try to get across an idea that, especially when you're a babbling twit, it's hard to get across an idea that, they are going to happen. Try not to have them happen, obviously. Do your best to get around it, like I did. It was miserable, but I don't feel that way now. It was just at the time, it was horrible. We tend to get to that stage in our head where we think, I hate this diet because it's so horrible, because we feel that way all the time. This is sort of a one-time thing for me. Not one time, but it's a rare occurrence that I get so bad that I think I'm going to leave, because otherwise I'm just going to buy 5 bags of cheesy snacks and go home and eat them all. So when they do happen, just don't get discouraged and think, well, no, I hate this, I'm going to quit because I'm miserable all the time. But in the same vein, don't don't indulge in it every time and get to a point where you think, well, no, it's okay. If I get really, really bad, then I can have this. Because then you get to a point where you think, well, yeah, this is really, really bad, and it really isn't, and we just sort of slide back into it. So it's a balancing act. It's really, really difficult to sort of get that idea across that do your best to try to avoid those moments. But if it happens, don't quit over it. Don't give up on what you've been doing. It's very low risk at this stage, but obviously it still happens. This was something that I had my calories for the day. By that point, I could have very easily just made it a 4,000 or 5,000 calorie day, which is so odd because in my head I think I could do that, but in practice, yesterday, for example, I was really, really hungry, and I thought I went to the store on my lunch, and I thought I'm gonna buy something, and just I don't know what I want. So I was wandering around, and I thought, okay, no, I'm going to be good. I had, a fairly big breakfast. So I thought, good enough, I'm going to go, and this is usually like 5 or 6 at night, so this is supper time, really. And I ended up just buying a salad. And normally you get the great big salad. I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to eat everything here. But I just thought, no, I'll get a normal size one. It's not going to be the large. It's not going to be the little side salad. It'll be a medium-sized salad. So, a good-sized cereal bowl filled with salad. And by the time I was done, it was absolutely stuffed. So that judgment is still off as well. Looking at something and going, I could eat 20 of those. And after 3, I'm done. So getting mentally to that point is going to be weird. Just trying to get to a stage where, my eyes are still bigger than my stomach right now, which they haven't been in a very long time. Now that I think about it, my eyes have always just been pretty much the same size. I can look at something and go, I can eat 5 of those, and then I can eat 5 of them and go, I have room for a 6th. But now it's sort of going the other way, that I'm still looking at a large amount of food, and that's why I need to measure this out, because if I was just to eat what I wanted, almost every meal I would be getting too much, and I wouldn't feel right. But this whole week has sort of been just off. That was sort of the hard part of it, but the remainder of the week has just been, I don't know, I just feel like it's been weird. And I've gone through my diet and looked at stuff, and my sugar that I've been eating, it's been bad. You'll see tomorrow. But it's better than it has been over the past month, which is really weird. And it's not because I've really started looking at, the amount of sugar that I'm eating or anything. My diet is pretty much the same across the board. It's just that, my sodium, my fat, my sugar, all that stuff is just out of whack. And I think that might be part of it, is that I haven't been as diligent as I should be with stuff. So, not an excuse or anything, just an explanation as to why I feel like shit. I don't know if I've made progress this week, weight-wise. I think I have, but I took a sneak peek a couple of days ago, but I can't remember what it was on Sunday. So I think, if my memory is right, that it's going to be less than a pound. But we will see tomorrow, see how things go. I'm going to continue on with my treadmill, stuff like that, and keep tracking it so that I can get down to a point where I just have the 1,800 calories a day again, which I think might be part of it as well. That because when we first started doing the exercise, it was a matter of, okay, well, we track it, but then we sort of offset it, and we don't really want to eat those calories back because we're making progress. But I find that when I have those calories in there, I do tend to go over the 1,800, and I don't really want to do that. But again, I need to follow my own advice, keep things slow and steady. I don't want to just say, good enough, I'm going to cut this off and then do this and do that and everything else. I'm going to stay on target and keep things gradually going down the way that they should be, because I'm looking at this for long-term effect, not short-term weight loss. It will happen eventually. I'm just getting impatient. Maybe that's what it is, that I'm more impatient than anything else. And I'm thinking I'm getting to a stage now, it's been 6 months, and I think I want to go because I'm not halfway where I need to be. But it's okay. We still haven't cut any foods out at all. We're looking at, aside from junk food, I don't really count junk food as food. Like chips and cheesies and like candies and cookies and all that stuff. I'm not including those when I say we cut out food, but technically we haven't really cut those out either. We're just trying to replace it with stuff that's better, making better choices that way. Still, the other day, I had a handful of them again, which is not 50 of them. I had 8 sour juju, so we're okay. Things like that, it's not going to kill you. You're still going to be able to have those things. It's just getting to a stage where we can have an off button is what we're looking for. So this has been a really odd summary of the week. I just sat here whining, going, I don't feel well. I don't know why. I want to lose weight faster. I want to do this faster. I want cookies. Anyway, that wasn't my intent. But tomorrow, we're going to be starting in on just really, we'll do a quick little summary of our week for sugar. I'll show you what my intake has been this week, sugar-wise. And this isn't from candy and cookies and everything else. This is my regular diet that I have with my regular cereal. This is actually even with adding in the oats and cutting back a little bit on the cereal. But I'll show you how much I've taken in over the past week and how much I've taken in over the past month. And it shocked the shit out of me when I looked at it. I really didn't think it was going to be that high. I knew it was going to be, lower than normal, lower than the average that people are taking in, but not by much. Like, really, quite a bit. I was really surprised. So, yeah, I'll show you how to do that as well. That'll be fun. Maybe. Not really. It's math. Anyway, if you like math, then it'll be fun. If not, then you're probably a normal human being. So enjoy. But for right now, I'm going to leave this video here. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please poke the like button for me. And in the meantime, keep yourself warm and fuzzy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.